fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tony Bellew. Get this. Tony Bellew reacts to Moses Itauma'S KO of Dillian Whyte, and he responds with scary. In just 119 seconds, the 20-year-old blew through Dillian Whyte and stunned the heavyweight division. Bellew's single-word verdict says it all. Power and precision wrapped into explosive youth. Absolutely scary. And let me counterpunch. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I think Moses, fresh, young, sharp, quick, fast. You know, I mean, if you pounce on someone, I honestly don't think Dillian was ready for someone. I don't think that he expected Moses to start that early. You know, and it was almost to me like Dillian came in a bit cold. You know what I mean? It was almost like, you know, sometimes if you haven't warmed up, you can get knocked out. It happens. It happens more than you think. But Moses Itauma, you know, I expected that just based on what he's been doing. Excuse me. He's been doing that to fighters. He's been blasting them out. I mean, it reminds me, a lot of people are comparing him to Mike Tyson with his skill and speed. But the way he's putting these guys down, you know, and out, it reminds me of Daniel Dubois, because Daniel Dubois did the same thing. Daniel Dubois went, what, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 0, just blasting people out of the water. I mean, he was getting them in. I mean, he didn't waste time because it became a regular routine for him. You know, hurt the guy, finish him off with savage power shots. Easy. You got the power, use it. You got the youth, use it. You know, put this guy, you get him on Queer Street, take him out of here. You know, take him in the alley and, you know, and take him out. And I think that's what we're seeing from Moses Itauma. But the difference, though, there is a difference. Moses Itauma, I think, is quicker, more elusive, better footwork. I think the punches are more explosive because he is faster and speed is power, right? And I think that explosiveness, you know, you have a guy, to me, he's punching like Tank Davis. He's moving like Tank Davis is, and Tank Davis is a smaller guy. So, you know, with someone, and you look at his frame, he's not a solid muscular guy. He's a guy that you can tell that looks very relaxed and flexible. You know what I mean? He looks loose. He doesn't look all tight and no. He's loose and he's, you know, ready to explode on your face with those bees. Okay, so yeah, definitely Moses has some scary power. And people witnessed that in the way he just went through Dillian Whyte. I have to say this, though, okay, and I'm going to make my peace with Dillian. Dillian Whyte's a warrior. We've seen Dillian Whyte knock Spark out. That wasn't one of the performances where he was. That being said, from the wise words and brave words of Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, let me go out on my shield. You know what I mean? Let me go out on my shield. Because I believe that the warrior of Dillian Whyte, if he would have allowed to continue, he would have threw something. He wouldn't have just went in there and just got blitzed unless he got caught trying to throw. That could have happened, but I think Dillian Whyte wanted to go out on his shield. I don't think that he wanted the fight to be stopped like that, because you think about it, you just got dropped. Your adrenaline is spiked through the roof, getting off the canvas. Then you're like, oh shit, it's like that, huh? This is how it's going to be. You wobble a little bit and the ref waves the fight off. You got to be furious to see that happen. So I do understand, you know, Dillian Whyte and his frustration because, you know, you're in a fight. You know, like Mike Tyson says, shit, you in a fight anyway. So, yeah, I do understand the frustration of Dillian Whyte because, you know, like I explained you what happened and, you know, someone slaps you around like that with some shots. And then some of those shots are rumored and some of them have were swayed a little bit behind the head. So, you know what I mean? What do you do at that point? And, you know, like I said in my live streams, you know, I think there should be closer examination when it comes to punches after the punch. All punches have to be legal, not just the one that hurt them. Because if you hit someone and hurt someone, then you start hitting them with rabbit punches. That's insult to injury. That could be way more dangerous than people realize. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'll say about that. You have to monitor the punches thrown and landed and where they're landing. Because if they land illegal, that means you are responsible, being the referee, to pause that fight, caution that fighter, and seeing what kind of condition that fighter is. Now, the tricky part is, what part of that was he hurt from the punch initially versus the illegal blow? So it's kind of difficult, but I don't think people should let that slide. And a lot of times the referee, they allow that to slide and, you know what I mean, fall through the cracks and allow these punches that sway behind the head to be counted as legal punches when they're actually illegal punches. But you guys tell me what you think of Tony Bellew and his one word to describe Moses Itauma. Scary. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.